Uh, a couple people reading about these stories. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? We're talking about the
Hey.
vaccine right now. Y'all do us a favor and share. Welcome to Maximize Monday. A couple people, it's not real. And then like this cop was posting online. It's not that deep. It's not that
Hmm.
big of a deal. And of course, he died from it.
Wow.
One person died of it. Whole family like talking about it's not real. It's not that big. They're trying to deny the person died of COVID. The doctor's like, no, your mom died from COVID. like,
Hmm.
uh, somebody else never getting the shot. All I need is melanin and vitamin D and whatever. And I'm going to
They
live.
said melanin.
No, I made a mistake. Not melanin. Vitamin
Oh,
D
okay.
and zinc. That's all I need. End up catching it. The child posted online, my parent died from COVID and y'all go get the vaccination. And I'm like, I get it if you just admit it's not what you want to do, but you can sit there and say that it's real and it's serious, which I still
Hmm.
think is the vaccine. But don't play dumb and then never mind. Just
I
hey,
just don't understand how factual people can be about whether it's real or not without having done their research. There are people who spent their whole lives going to school trying to understand infectious diseases. Why not think that there might be some validity behind what they're saying instead of just saying, oh, it's not real?
yeah. Well, that's because somebody on their QAnon or whatever they listen to, whoever they listen to, they got to they listen to them over actual medical people.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Hey y'all, welcome to Maximize Monday.
Oh, man, I wrote the wrong thing. It's Maximize Monday, not the recap.
I just saw that. So y'all come on and join us if you can. Uh, y'all be safe out there. This Delta variant is here,
Hmm.
and it's from what they say, it spreads pretty quick. Not that I ever everybody living in fear, but just the reality of the situation. So um,
Yeah.
y'all be safe and all that good stuff. And come on in so we can get started on this discussion. Hey Sid,
Hey,
we
Sid.
can start with this discussion and talk to y'all for a little bit. We'll probably be off next Monday. 4th of July is on a Sunday, which means we usually have the Monday off.
Hmm.
When the holidays on the weekend, either Friday or Monday, we have off. So we have off, and I'm taking off. Unless we decide to pre-tape something and just plug it in. But whatever Maya wants to do, I'll go with what she wants to do.
Oh, so you're making it be my fault.
Well, not your fault. I can't make this decision without considering you.
Whatever Maya wants to do.
Yeah, no, I mean
Just follow me. Sorry.
that wasn't shade or nothing. It was just it's fine. But if you don't, if you want to pre-record it or just put a tape in,
We'll figure something out.
that's me being easygoing, empowering black women, and this is what y'all do. We
You
talk.
okay?
I was being serious. I'm being honest, y'all.
Yes, fascinating.
And then all of a sudden, you were on last night too. We were talking about this stuff. Look at you.
What?
Look at you. Terrible. Look, I ain't
Yeah.
messing with people sit. I don't care what they say. Um, too many people are dying of this stuff, and we're having these long term effects from this thing. And some people, they don't. But again, it goes back to do you want to risk it though? That's
It's
the
not
question.
worth it.
I've said it like this, and I've said it before. I know a lot of people that quoted Psalm 91 and still caught it. Just throwing a bunch of scriptures at it doesn't mean nothing's going to happen to you.
Hmm.
So, anywho, welcome back, y'all. Come on and share. We're still talking about maybe in July we can start at noon. Is that cool?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, we'll start probably noon. We'll let everybody know. It's like a
So it
lunchtime.
could be during lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime. Uh,
Are we
and
going to make it? Oh, well, never mind.
what?
I was going to say a lunch and learn.
You can do a lunch and learn. It's fine. But I'm not.
But you can't
I
eat
can leave
in
the
sanctuary.
sanctuary. Yeah. And you're coming back soon too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll let everybody know. Plus, it's easier to help out scheduling wise at noon versus whatever. All right,
Okay.
because again, this was only supposed to be a couple of months thing, and it ends up being like a whole year's of change.
Yeah. It's crazy
Right.
how fast time goes.
Who are you telling?
It puts things in perspective.
Yep. And I'm aware that people are, um, their mind is starting to shift to an open, even though, there's ways we could take this. Their minds are shifting to things opening back up again.
Hmm.
So I kind of get that. I think I want to consider that perception change without changing too much. Because
Hmm.
if we have to go back into a lockdown in fall again, you know,
Don't have to start all over.
yeah, we got to start all over again. Everything's, and even people be used to the noontime and everything like that. But anywho, so again, please share. We've been talking this month about uh, what it costs to succeed, what it takes for you to um, succeed in life. We talked about the non-negotiable stuff versus the negotiable things. Do you have it in you to get what you desire? The passion, the drive, the sacrifices necessary. Are you willing to do all that stuff? We talked about the sacrifice of money, time, and then last week we really got on the sacrifice that your family takes and your friends take
Yeah.
from it too. So we went from the individual to how what you do affects other people around you and the people that you're connected to and preparing them for it. And we talked a lot about how when you become a little older, you start to recognize the sacrifices that your parents made,
Hmm.
start to understand them more. You know,
Better appreciation for them
yeah,
too.
yeah, you have a mature view of why they had to work extra hours when you wanted them to stay home and da 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 da.
Hmm.
Being an adult is overrated. It really is.
I'm sure.
It was look when I lived with my mom, it was easier to say, hey, this broke over, call somebody versus now I got to do it all myself and
Yeah.
you know use my own money and uh, being
That's
as
probably the worst part about it.
yeah, literally, yeah. I mean, the freedom is great, but
Hmm.
you know, then all of a sudden stuff start happening. You got to go in your own pocket and
Yeah.
do stuff. And being an adult is you coming into your own responsibility. Hey, Jeanette,
Hmm.
you know,
Hey.
when you turn 18, 19, 20, you're like, oh, I could do whatever I want to do. Then when you get a little older, you realize being an adult is not you doing what you want to do, it's doing what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
Completely different.
Two different things. But today I want to get into this is going to sound really crazy. The post feelings of success or achieving your goals. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Robin. The post feelings of achieving your goals and event. And what
Hmm.
we'll talk about is going to sound a little crazy, but hear us out. And if you've ever succeeded in something that had a great impact, you'll feel what I'm feeling. Hey, V, you'll feel what I'm feeling, what we're talking about. So when you're planning something, and we talked about this a little yesterday in the discussion, you spend hours trying to get ready for it, only for it to be over a whole lot
Hmm.
than the time you put into it.
Yeah.
It could take you 4 or 5 months to plan an event that only lasts an hour. It took you 4 months to get ready for it, 6 months to get ready for it, and it's
Hmm.
gone right before you know
Like Christmas.
it. You would bring that up. Just
I'm
say,
just saying. It is. It's like Christmas. You spend all these months listening to your Christmas music and getting excited in the holiday spirit, buying gifts, and then it's done in a day. And you're like, okay, now what?
you're such a kid. See, to me, I'm thinking of the whole Christmas season, like the whole week, the day of, the week of. It's kind of
The week up, that's it?
it feels Christmassy the week of and the week after,
Oh
like those
boy.
2 weeks. Like
We know who the Grinch is.
no, I'm not a Grinch. I like holidays. Christmas music starts after Thanksgiving. Now you can listen beforehand, but you talking about months. You listen to Christmas music months ahead of time to get ready.
As soon as it's on the radio in my car,
But that's usually like around.
Christmas music.
I'm talking about
And
you
then
said
there's
months.
Christmas in July, and then there's time leading up to the big day that you can get into the Christmas spirit.
We're not going to talk about this today. So
As you were saying.
as I was saying, I'm talking about work and success. I'm talking about Christmas. No, I'm playing, but it's that mixture of feelings that after it's over,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of feelings that come along with it. And thank you, Sid. Um, and for your election piece thing, you know what I'm talking about too. It's like you actually got there. Now you're like, now what? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people go through those post feelings after you complete an event. Like when I thought about my wedding, all that plans for a 20-minute ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
A reception that lasts a few hours. And the
Mm-hmm.
crazy thing is, I can only remember certain parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
It went by so fast. I don't. It's just like it's fleeting to me. But
Yeah.
we did all that work for something that lasted that short. Whether you're planning for like a photography event that's big
Mm-hmm.
and it's over, or you're planning for a promotion on your job, like Sid just talked about. She won an election somewhere. Those things. There are some feelings that come right after that. And what are those feelings?
Yeah.
One of them is what we call like a post-event depression.
Very true.
A lot of people don't recognize it because they're like, I did all this stuff. I was excited when I finally completed it. You know, um, it's great. It happened, and then like a day or two later, you go into
Mm-hmm.
this. I like to call it like a letdown phase, where all the excitement, nervousness, all kind of just,
Yeah.
and you feel empty.
Yeah. No, because you put so much of your life into preparing for whatever it is you're preparing for. Even like, sacrificing, doing the things, not doing the things you want to do to prepare. So now once you're done, it's like, okay, who am I now if I'm not an event planner or uh fiance getting ready for this? Like, what is next?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's that what's next. It's that question of whether I ever want to do this again because it was some, especially if it was stressful doing it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
preparing for it. You're like, that was fun, but I kind of doubt if I want to do that all over again like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and people feel like that sometimes. You put on a huge event or you do a huge project, and you're like, I don't want to do that again because the stress of it can get you. But a lot of
Yeah.
times, some people lose their inspiration after it's over, because they feel like uh, it's like you pump up all that air and then all of a sudden all the air comes out and you just shoo.
Just a
That's the only way I can
balloon.
describe it. Huh?
So you're just a deflated balloon.
Yeah, you feel deflated and
Yeah.
it's like you don't feel creative, you don't feel all that
And well,
is a moment. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, using that analogy of a balloon, it's always hard to blow the balloon up right in the beginning. So I feel that the same concept, what do I do now? And then how do I get started and even trying to do something else?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think that after an event is over, it's good to give yourself some time to recover and refuel. You know, take your time, you know, uh, to reset after you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like people are talking about in the comment section, as soon as they published a book or did this, all of a sudden they're nervous, they're scared. Give yourself some time to rest and reset,
Mm-hmm.
and to recover. It's like you spend 4 or 5 months pouring into something, right? And
Yeah.
then, like you said, when it's over, you feel like you done poured everything out, and then you're struggling to get it all back in. I think that's why it's important that while you're doing the preparation and the success part, you're constantly feeding yourself to refuel what you're putting out.
Mm.
If all you're doing is putting out, of course you're going to feel empty. What are you doing
Yeah.
to recover, to refuel what you're putting out on a daily, weekly basis, and especially after it's over? That's why a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, when they accomplish a great goal, what's the first thing they do when they're done? They go on vacation, because they're trying to recoup a little bit before they
Yeah.
start the next thing. And most of us, especially Americans, we're always on to the next thing. And I'm guilty of this. On to the next thing. On to the next thing. And you don't give yourself time to recover, to refuel, and to enjoy what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
It's true. You have to be able to give yourself that time to decompress, like Sid just said, and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. And sometimes when you take a vacation, you need to come back a day early, right? Or a day or two early before you actually jump back into the swing of things so you can vacation from your vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of slowly, if you can,
Ease into it.
ease your life back into stuff. But a lot of us, we don't give ourselves that time to kind of recover, refuel, especially when you have, done a big project.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, one of
All that stuff takes a toll on your body. It's like even just health wise, you need to be able to take a step back and to heal from, that stress,
yeah, you have to and acknowledge, you know, I'm guilty of this. I have to learn to stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're used to doing a lot of stuff at one time, you don't really relax and say, you know what? Wow, that was pretty cool. And
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the moment. You're like, all right, next. All right, I gotta go do this,
Yeah.
and you miss all these things. And I think the pandemic has taught me how to slow down some, still maintain my work ethic and all that stuff, but slow down
Mm-hmm.
some and enjoy aspects of life. You know, um, something that Lisa White, hey sister Lisa, she brought up, and again, this is something that Americans do. We're addicted to busyness and work.
Yeah.
Everything is. You look at other countries, like you said, some places in Europe, their holidays are are more extended. Some places make their workers have siestas.
Mm.
This is your nap time, and then you come back to work when you're done. And they actually found out that their workers are more productive when they gave them a siesta in their work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Business went up, money went up, efficiency went up. But Americans, we're addicted to working,
Yeah.
doing, and we don't actually learn the balance of I need to work hard, do what I got to do, but also learn to kind of slow down and enjoy life. Like you said, you only have one body. And I think
Mm-hmm.
stress and a lot of stuff can break your body down too.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to work now. I'm a worker, I learn from people, but I'm learning to the pandemic has taught me to kind of slow down some.
Yeah. I'm gonna
And
find that balance.
yeah, and learn to enjoy more aspects of life. And watch this. It's okay to take off sometimes.
And not feel guilty about it.
Well, I don't feel guilty when I do take off, but it's just
Yeah.
take off and
Some
recognize.
people do.
I don't take off
Yeah.
and learn to recognize they'll be fine until I get back. You guys will be okay. You got it. I'll be right back a day or two later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, but like think about it. A lot of American workers are on vacation, but at their laptop on vacation working while they're
Well,
gone.
that's what I was gonna say. Like working in social media, like you can take that with you wherever you go. So it's hard sometimes to cut it off when like you're on vacation because you can still do whatever you need to do.
Man, look, y'all better than me. When I go on vacation, certain places, I lock my phone up.
Wow.
I put it in the safe and I lock it up. And I check it maybe once or twice a day.
That's great.
When I go on a real vacation, I hate my phone. I
Mm-hmm.
literally hate it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to touch it. I just want to just be free from the distractions and the worry of that phone. Like some of y'all addicted to y'all devices. Look at you, Maya. You like, that scares
I'm
me.
just thinking, I don't think it would work here.
That scared. Look, I get it because
Yeah.
some entrepreneurs are like, I got to fix something, but I it, some you I think here's it. It's not that I don't check it if something happens,
Hmm.
right? It's just I'm selective on when I check it. If ain't nobody dying right now,
Yeah.
if it's like a major emergency, the people who know how to contact me know how to contact me. But outside of
Right.
that, I'm here. What am I?
Hmm.
How am I gonna fix that? Work it out.
Hmm.
You want me to get on the plane and come back and then leave? A lot here. I posted this earlier, and this may be a good part of the discussion. I said we used
Okay.
to take a break from life to go on social media because it was fun, it was enjoyable. And now
Right.
you're noticing people doing the reverse. They're taking a break from social media so they can enjoy
Okay.
life.
Yep.
Because social media has become so toxic and so addictive where it's really just a small microcosm, but it doesn't represent the whole entire world.
Right.
But we get lost into social media being our life and our world that we forget to live outside of that. And then we
Hmm.
wonder why the depression rates are so high, the anxiety is so high, all that stuff is so high. Because we're tethered to this. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's become a limb for people. And when they don't have their phone, it's like a part of them is missing.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but a lot of people, they and Sid brought it up, people are like that. Their bosses emailing them, they're checking and they got
Hmm.
on the emails and check the emails while they're on the beach and stuff like that. I'm like, look, you know, and some people can do that and they're okay. But
Yeah.
sometimes you got to unplug. I'm unavailable right now. Like, you know, if it's
You
emergency,
put that do not disturb option on your phone.
I lock my phone up, locked away.
I
Like,
don't blame you though. Yeah.
yeah.
What are pagers? I'm kidding.
I was about to say, shut up,
Fix your face.
stop it.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah, come on. I was about to say, like, they still have pages in the 2000s, but you don't know nothing about the codes that we used to put on pages to tell people stuff. You never had a pager before?
No.
Okay, but anyway, that's a whole other thing. But 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 I think that's what I said. If somebody needs me in an emergency, the right people know how to reach me. Yeah, the right people know how to reach me. And I've also learned this too. Somebody else's emergency isn't my emergency all the time. You ever have
Hmm.
somebody call you, I need to talk to you. It's an emergency. And you stop what you're doing to go talk to them. And when they tell you what happened, you're like, seriously, you made me drop everything I was doing.
We could have Googled it. And I think that's a part of the problem too. People are, instead of taking the time to do their own research, they have to bother someone on their vacation instead of just Googling it for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and think about it. Say you're one of those people where you don't have a normal 9 to 5 job. So you're not with your family a lot. Then you saying, look, we're going to spend the next 2 days together. And then the whole time you're on your phone working. It's like, well, we might as well have stayed home. If you're going to do the same
Hmm.
thing here, then you were there. But I think something
Hmm.
in our American culture, in corporate America, is like this a lot, where it's like just because you have the device, they expect you to be on all the time and available all the time.
Yeah.
And we wonder why again people are feeling so sad, stressed out, tired of this stuff, because they just can't disconnect.
Yeah.
And I think it's good sometimes, especially social media, to take a break from it. Say, I'm going to take a week off, 2 weeks off from it. You know,
That's forever in like social media world.
yeah. And
Two
and,
weeks.
and the thing is, I asked our teens that I'm not addicted to this stuff. And my thing is, all right, do me a favor, log off your accounts, delete them for about a week, and see how long you last. Oh, I can't do that. You're addicted to it.
Hmm.
Addicted to it. Now, unless you're getting paid from it, well, even then you can be addicted to it. But unless you're getting paid from it, you're addicted to it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I don't know how we got here talking about this part.
I don't know.
We brought up the whole how other countries, look at work and
Oh,
stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. But I think there's something to learning to enjoy life. And if there's one thing, during the pandemic, I haven't thanked God for the ability to taste and smell probably ever in my life until the pandemic started.
yeah.
Especially when like everybody's like, if you can't taste something, you can't smell something. That's your clue. And I'm sitting there every day like, I can taste that. I can smell like, oh, thank God.
Extra seasoning on it. Yep, that tastes good. Salt.
Right. But I'm learning. This is really teaching me to acknowledge
Appreciate
those
the
small
small
things and
things.
appreciate
Yeah.
them, you know.
Hmm.
But learning to enjoy those moments
Yeah.
and look back and say, you know what, that was pretty good what we just did, and then plan the next thing.
Right.
But I also at the same time, let's at least enjoy what just happened. Stop to smell the roses. Don't
Hmm.
stay there. The problem is when you stay there, because then you stop growing. So you do both.
Yeah. Because I think that not being able to take that time changes your perspective to it becoming a chore
Mm.
instead of it being something that you genuinely love, and that's why you're doing it, not because you have to, but because you enjoy it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there, your passion doesn't mean just you have a passion for something. It doesn't mean there won't be seasons where you don't feel like doing it and feel like quitting.
Hmm.
So I'm done with this. I won't do it no more.
Yeah.
But something you won't let you stop.
Right.
When you're aware of that, it's just a feeling that eventually will fade away. It'll eventually say, you know what? It's just how I felt at the moment, or I'm feeling right now at the moment. But I ain't going
Hmm.
nowhere. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna stick with what you know.
Yeah.
It's as Bishop said last night. Whether it's a condition versus something that's going to pass. And I think that's important.
Hmm.
Thoughts?
No, it's very important. I've been sharing my thoughts this whole time.
No, you haven't.
I have too.
You be throwing little tidbits in there, and sorry, she leave me hanging again, y'all. She was doing good for a few
I
weeks.
am not
Then
leaving. I was reading these people's comments.
focus on
Ramona's
me.
social media makes her
This is what we talk.
anxious.
You don't have a form of ADD, do you?
I don't think so.
You can't do both at the same time.
I can do both.
You can talk and
I
read.
just
Talk,
look
read,
at
and
the
think.
comments right now.
Talk, read, and think at the same time. Another issue is
Okay. Are we almost done? Good.
another issue is you better be glad you're not here. Another issue is can I live up to what I just did?
Hmm.
That's a big one.
It's a lot of pressure.
I think you brought that up earlier. Like you do something, everybody like, that's so great. And now you're like,
Okay. How do I step it up?
the expectation to stay successful is harder than the expectation. It's something about hiding and growing and becoming because people aren't paying
Hmm.
attention. So you fail, you don't get it right. But once the spotlight is on you, and it's like, yo, this person knows how to do so and so. So you're like, now you don't have that same luxury of making mistakes in private like you would when all eyes.
Yeah.
It's two totally
Hmm.
different things.
I feel like, or at least it feels like people are looking for you to fail and to mess up.
Yeah. And that part and you know, this is why I think we have to learn to navigate the expectations of people better,
Hmm.
but also navigate our own expectations, which usually comes from the expectations of others.
Hmm.
Most of our expectations comes from pleasing somebody else and their viewpoint
Hmm.
rather than doing what's right. Now, and I'm not saying all is bad. The right expectation from people is good. But one thing I'm learning, you'll never live up to everybody's expectation.
Yeah.
You learn to please God and let the chips fall where they may.
Mm-hmm.
And pleasing God means you're a good employee. Your boss expects you to do something. Pleasing God allows you to do those things appropriately. And like Jesus will give you favor with God and man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we need to consider that aspect of it and continue to push yourself to strive to be better. You put on this one event. It's like Power God. Every Power God, it's like, okay, that was great. People are like, that was one of the best ones. Now it's like, what are we going to do next year? How are we going to top that one? You
Yeah.
know? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just learning not to let that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good pressure. It's a good pressure to have to want to do better. But like you said, not where it's going to cripple you. But I like what you said. Like, it's important sometimes to be able to just go with the flow and be open to other ideas than locking yourself into, okay, I need to do this and that and this and that. Because you never know what might come out of, being open like that.
Yeah. I know that must wear you out because you miss stickler for.
I am not that much of a stickler.
I need exactly process. I need this.
Never said that.
Many details as you
It's
give me.
important that all I say is that it's important to have a framework so that if you need to wiggle, have some wiggle room, that's fine. But you need
Y'all,
to know at least where to start.
her framework is a Picasso, not like, let me draw the outside and you color the rest in. She wants the details, the minute, just
just give me the bullet points and then there's room for more. That's all I'm saying.
She's lying, y'all. Don't believe her.
I'm not lying.
No, but it's funny. We joke about this because I'm more of a big picture person. She's like more detailed, and I think to me that's the best working combination. Because if you have two big picture people working together, you miss all the details. If you have two very highly detailed people, they get so muddled in the details, don't miss the big picture. So you need that the two working together and to manage the friction of how you see things to create a whole picture. So I'm learning more and more to talk detailed, and people who are detailed learning more to talk big picture. And you need both. I don't need a whole lot of I don't need a whole bunch of A1. I can go in Bishop's office. Literally, I can go in his office right now. And he says, and he'll like, look, I'm not trying to tilt this, but he said, he can just say, you know what, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. And then he'll just let me go create. I don't need a lot of details. Just tell me what you want and I'll figure it out. Some people need, you can't do that with them. And it's not bad. It's because their mind doesn't think that way. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad because their mind doesn't think that way. I'm not saying it's bad. I was joking, but their mind doesn't think that way, right? But somebody like you, Pastor P, a couple other people, y'all need a little more details rather than here's a broad brush, then figure it out. My creativity comes from the figuring out the broad brush. Y'all's creativity comes from the details. Then y'all start creating everything out. And that's not a bad thing. It's just how both people work. Why are you looking like that?
No, I think I have the big idea and then I work my way up to it. So maybe I'm wrong. That's just what I think.
Yeah. Our perception of that is totally different. Right. But I mean, but I think that motto, some of the greatest industry work that I've done projects here is because I've worked with people who, like you, make up for the overly detailed stuff that I don't have. And I bring that visionary part and it gels together. So the best people I work with, we work that dynamic and we learned how to bring that dynamic together to help bring some stuff to pass. So some people, like I said, everybody's creativity comes from in different circumstances. And one's not right and one's not wrong. It's just you have to know what brings your creativity out. I need a lot of space to be creative. So give me a whole platform Let me work it out. And then I'll present it and say, is this cool? If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. Some people need a
Yeah.
little more set on the stage. So, but again, it depends on the type of person that you are.
Hmm.
One's not right, one's not wrong.
Yeah. No, that balance is good. Like you said, being able to come and to talk about it, to make it happen. Just so you know, one of my greatest friends is siding with you, so I'm not liking her
Who?
at the moment.
Who?
Crystal.
Oh, she's texting you?
Yeah.
Tell her. Oh, Crystal, she's watching now. Crystal, Maya is stubborn. She's hard headed and she does not listen.
That's not true.
I'm playing, but I'm playing. She's in denial. We all know, Crystal. We all know. I don't even know Crystal, and she agrees with me. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the part I like about you is that you bring that side to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes stuff work. Because I'll present an idea to you. We'll be inside of how our conversations are. I'll bring something to her. She's like, okay, so how are we going to do this, this, and this? I'm like, I don't know, work it out. And well, I need more details. All right, cool. So let's, and we talk through it until it's there. But again, that's her view of learning, and my view of learning is different. And we both learn to talk each other's language to make it work. I think
Yeah.
that's important. Yeah.
I mean, it's worked out pretty good so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's just a detailed person has to learn to not be so frustrated with the visionary. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking in general.
Okay.
So sensitive.
But a disclaimer out there.
Not talking about you.
Okay, good.
You're frustrated with the visionary person for being so broad brushed. And the person who's a visionary can't be so perturbed that they got to give more details than they want to. Because here's my thing. I know some people like this. They'll give the broad brush, big picture, and then get mad at the person for not knowing what to do. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to do something, tell them exactly what you want so they can give you what you want.
Mm-hmm. That's the worst thing. Even just in photography or, event planning, like if you go through the whole process and you present, okay, this is what I came up with, and then the person who's the client or whatever wants a whole different color scheme. I'm like, oh, why didn't you tell me this in the beginning? Like, you should have given me those details. So it's hard, and it's hard to find that balance.
It is.
But I think, like you said, if you're open to being able to give and take in that way,
yeah,
that helps.
Absolutely. So I'm not a photographer. I know what I like, but if I'm doing a photo shoot with you and you're like, what do you want? I don't know. Just take a bunch of pictures and we'll pick the best one. That's how I am. Let's just in the moment, change up, move this, sit down here. We did this before. You like, sit here, do this. I'm like, okay. But
not everyone's like that.
Yeah, but it comes out. And I listened. I said, okay, let's sit here. Let's do this. Let's move here. Let's do this. And I hate photo shoots, but let's do it. Get it out the way. Have some fun. And then you figure out what's best, and I'll just go along with it. But again, that's where that trust kicks in. I don't know how we got all the way out on this topic. This was nothing about what we want to talk about.
Nothing. We'll get there one day, Pastor Nick. We'll stick to the plans.
To be able to stay on topic.
Yeah.
It's the comment. Somebody says something and it just kind of
stirred our path. But no, and in photography, that's a real issue because sometimes, especially when it comes to like insecurities and whatnot, people have an idea of how they want their pictures to come out and how they look in them and everything else, but they don't come out that way sometimes, either because you're not giving the details and, okay, I want things to be this color, I want shadows to be this heavy, right? And then like things can clash sometimes. So with my clients, I always try to have that pre-consultation to talk and get all those details out, just to make sure I can get as close to it as possible. But yeah, I think sometimes without having that conversation, you can get yourself into trouble later. So that's why I always try to hash it out beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that you find what helps make you successful. of
Mm-hmm.
what you do, and I think that's important. Wow,
Yeah.
that was like pretty quick. It's like 1:41 already.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I gotta get ready to go soon. So, you know, I don't know how this had nothing. We went so far out the way,
We're way in the deep end now.
like way away from what we wanted to talk about. But this month we really wanted to just talk about what you need to do to be successful in life. It's not a wish. It's not uh, something that you just desire. It's more than that. It's work. It's sacrifice. It's intention. It's doing all those things
Mm-hmm.
to grow and develop. And we can close on this part. We kind of addressed this a little yesterday. Growing your character as much as you want to grow in your whatever field you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Every major biblical character that failed greatly, they messed up their career, their whatever they wanted to do. Not
Mm-hmm.
because of their gifting, but because of their character. They
Mm-hmm.
control themselves as person, as people. And
Yeah.
you progress faster in your skill than you do your person. Meaning this.
Mm-hmm.
You can perfect your skill, your gifting, your calling a whole lot faster than you can mature as a human being. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always going to be that gap where you're great at something. And the problem is people only see you as that thing. So they expect, this person has to be mature. They got to have
Yeah.
their personal life together. And then come to find out they're a great success career wise, but their personal life is jacked up
Mm-hmm.
because it's easier to perfect what you do than it is to perfect your person.
Yeah.
And that's not an excuse. It's just a reality. And we got to work on our person as much as we work on our career, our calling, and those things.
Mm-hmm.
So this won't mess up this.
And I think someone asked that question last week. Like, if your person isn't in good standing, are you really being successful?
Yeah,
So it's really important that you're working on yourself just as hard as you're working in your business.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's do that. All right. So it's about 1:45, and maybe next month we can talk about the maturing of your person along with your career, with
Mm-hmm.
your calling, whatever. And we can go through some biblical characters from Abraham, his lion, from David, all the other crazy stuff he did.
Yeah.
Jonah. I mean, you nonstop. You notice it was not their failures was never a gifting issue. It was always a character wisdom flaw.
Because it bleeds over into it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In Samson, it can totally mess up what God wants to do in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe Samson could have done, even though he killed more in that one moment when
Mm-hmm.
he died in the end.
Mm-hmm.
He could have chosen another option, lived longer, done more, if he would have learned to control himself a little more, you know?
That's deep.
And self control is, it means a lot. It's one of the fruit of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
It must mean something.
it means something. All right, what's going on this
That'll
week?
be good.
Good.
We have a lot going on this week. Let me put up this fancy graphic that I made. So, of course, we have the recap tonight at 5:30, along with a broadcast of Saturday's drive-in service at 7 tonight. So make sure you're tuning in for those things. Wednesday, of course, we have Word Impact. I believe we're continuing the discussion of how to get a word from the Lord. So tune in Wednesday at 7. Thursday is what I'm looking forward to. It's another rendition of Cooking with Chef. He's going to be cooking up another meal for us to follow along with. And if you are going to be cooking with him, we do encourage that you post your pictures on social media so that we can show some love. Saturdays, we're back for On Point at 9 with Bishop and Pastor Nick, talking about culture and politics and whatever else is happening in the world. And then Pastor Nick joins us again on Saturday at 6 p.m. for Emerging Worship. And then Sunday is a full day of worship, starting with the encounter at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. with Engage Live in between at 9:45. And then we have our virtual communion at 6. And we are handing out the elements on Saturday, right, from 12 to 5.
Yep.
And then again on Sunday from 12 to 3.
Absolutely. 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 So
So,
join us all week long. It's going to be fun. And
good
you
week.
guys have a safe 4th of July on Sunday.
Hmm.
Communion service isn't that long. And join us for communion. Be safe. Barbecues with your family and stuff like that.
Be smart. Yeah.
Smart. Um, you know, use wisdom. Okay. Amen. And you want to still be here, whole and healthy for other barbecues in the future.
Hmm.
You
I
know?
feel like we're right on the cusp of getting back to normal, but we just got to continue to be smart and be safe, to
I,
not push it back.
I hope so.
I really hope so.
Meanwhile, New Zealand's out here having a good time.
If they can do it, we can do it too.
You know,
I'm competitive, so
the reason why they're doing is because they did the right thing.
that's what I'm saying.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to. They had 3 people catch COVID, and they
Hmm.
locked down the whole city that the people were in for 2 weeks to make sure that those 3 people, the virus passed on them and didn't go any further.
Wow.
We're not doing that for nobody. Not
No,
doing
I don't see that happening.
it. America's like, whatever, it's going to be here for a long time. Let's just deal with it. Meanwhile, New Zealand, they have no mask, nothing. They're more communal in their thought process. Americans are selfish, and it's unfortunate. If we'd have did what we were supposed to do earlier, we'd have been out of this thing a long time ago.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be
I
hot.
agree.
Yep. It's supposed to rain all week, I think, right?
I think Wednesday and Thursday.
Something like that.
Maybe. Yeah, my knees are aching, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does rain.
Your, your knees are always aching. What else?
This is an arthritic ache.
Yeah, it's your sign that something's getting
The
ready to come.
seasons. Uh huh.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.